Okay, now go ahead.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, Friday, and we here at the RGT with that real gamer talk. Um, hey,
I think it's episode
remember the
54.
motto. Remember the motto. Play games, not corporations. But once again, man, I'm here with your host, Ryan the Professional, and we're about to talk a little bit about Sekiro Shadows Die Twice.
Oh, we got a lot more to talk about just Sekiro, but got a lot of messages regarding that game. A lot of people are definitely voicing their opinion about Sekiro. First of all, to everybody that's here already, shout out to everybody in the chat. What is going on to the family, the Legion, the extent? Real, that's real. I ain't gonna call y'all no Legion. Y'all family at the end of the day. Y'all here every day, every Friday, daily. Y'all name it. Y'all here for us. We love entertaining you guys. So thank you guys so much for being there always.
Yeah, man.
Shout
Thank
out
you for
to
joining us, man.
yeah, shout out to the brothers, Spartan, EJ. What's going on, brother? Darren, how you doing? How you doing? What's up, SS69? What's going on? Roman, who else in here? Kevin Mack, James Thomas, Wraith. What's up? How y'all doing? Welcome. So everybody's gonna be joining us a little late. They're on their way here. Nancy, I know for a fact, is going to be a little late, so she'll definitely be joining us momentarily. Unfortunately, the brother Meds will not be, more likely will not be joining us because he's got other stuff. But hey, you know how it is. Not every day, not every week you can make it, but life is
Yep.
that's life for you. What's up, Mr. P? I call him Mr. P. Mr. P. I don't call
Mr.
him that.
Pef,
Mr.
King
P.
Matic
I
Beats,
call him. I
Ice
don't
Queen
call him Pep.
Gaming,
I call him Mr. P. Though. What's up?
Kefa,
What up,
ceremonies,
brother?
man. How y'all people doing, man? Yeah, like, and going back to the Sekiro thing,
All right, let's go ahead.
I see a lot of people, well, a lot of journalists trying
Mhm.
to ask for easy mode on the game that's relatively easy to begin with.
Yeah,
If you really follow the patterns of how the actual enemies move around, it's
yeah.
not that hard to pick up. It just takes a little bit of patience and time. Like it's not, you're not gonna be in a transition where you're gonna beat the bosses at first.
Right.
At first interaction, you have to literally study the patterns. The game practically plays like a true to life. Hey, what's up, Blue Horizon? Plays true to life with what the shinobi emphasis is about. Going into your area,
Mm-hmm.
exposing the enemies to your presence,
Mm-hmm.
and drawing them out to a one-on-one fight.
Okay.
That's the whole purpose of Sekiro. It is not how you would play a game like Devil May Cry 5 where you hack and slash and you take on multiple enemies.
Okay.
This game requires a little bit of patience and a little bit of dedication in order to progress
So, would
further.
you say it's more in common with like Bloodborne and Neo?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
It is. In terms of difficulty and how you play the game, it's right near it. I wouldn't say too much compatibly with Bloodborne because remember, Bloodborne you have stamina depletion, meaning that even when you block,
Mm-hmm.
your stamina goes away. And this game is more or less kinetic kinetic strikes. If you lose your blocking power, you have the ability to evade or dodge the bosses or the enemies. In Bloodborne, you could dodge, but you had that depletion that renders you a little bit helpless, and you are more prone to getting damaged or hit by any enemies.
Okay. Okay.
So it's like it's not the game itself is not hard, people. Don't let these people fool you in telling you that the game needs an easy mode. It
Well,
is.
like
Mhm,
one thing I will say about that, I have gotten messages that have said, a lot of people like really saying that they are saying that the game is tough, like it's a tough game.
mhm,
Um, Again, every game that's like a Souls type or follows that formula, it always is tough your first playthrough because you really don't know what to expect, from your enemies. My advice for you guys who are playing this and are having a hard time with it, and I was trying to say this in messages, but I was like focused on other games, or everybody was sending me a message about this game because everybody really wants me to play this too. It's very simple. My advice to you guys: just take the game slow. You obviously don't play it like my homie Kid Smooth. Shout out to Kid Smooth, but don't play it like Kid Smooth, like you're on a time frame. Take your time with each boss. If you have to die to learn the pattern and just take your time. You want the thing I will say that Sekiro has over Bloodborne and Neo is that in Bloodborne and Neo, you could not block at all. You could block, but there was only extended time you can block. Damn, it's not working. Holy shit. One second. Can you send Foxy the link up top here? I don't know what's going on. He says it's not working. Wait, Fox, open up in Google Chrome. That's probably what it is. Sometimes it does that. I don't know what's going on, but sometimes it acts up like that.
Let me see.
Yeah, open up in Google Chrome.
Bam. Send the link. All right.
If not, go straight to I'll send to you personally through Hangouts. Maybe that'll fix it. But
yeah, that's how I was able to get into the Hangouts, like the actual Hangout app.
Oh, okay. I'll send it to Hangouts.
But like it's just like any typical game, any game that you played. I remember when playing Ninja Gaiden on the original Xbox, the first Xbox, not the Xbox One, not the 360, the original Xbox. That game was relatively hard at the beginning. You had no kind of weapon items. You just came in with whatever you had, and you progressively made it through each level by leveling up your weapon sets, your skills, everything. It's not that you're gonna go in thinking that you're Superman in the game and you're gonna defeat everybody in one shot. No, this game requires skill, and a lot of people have to understand you don't have to try to be so entranced by trying to beat the game fast. Just take your time. Like how Ryan's been saying, take your time, study the enemies. Each enemy has a weakness. The lower level enemies, they're much more easier to defeat on a one-on-one interaction than they are at when they try to gang up on you. Because believe me, I've been playing the game for the past 2 days now. I'm up to the ogre part, and I'm having a blast. The game is hella fun. It requires a little bit of patience, but it is beatable. There are certain areas where you can expose the enemies and defeat them quickly. You just got to take your time with it. Whoever read that Forbes article should know that this guy, whoever wrote the article, David Fier, is relatively trying to put too much an emphasis that the game is too hard. It is not. It is not a hard game. If anybody has played Neo, has played Bloodborne, Dark Souls, if you're a fan of what the company has made through those titles, then you should know or expect the level of difficulty that the games bring along with them.
Okay. Again, like obviously everybody is looking at the homie Kid Smooth stream and they're going about it a different way. Listen, just take your time with Sekiro, man. I'm gonna enjoy it. I can't wait to fire mine up. But the stream with Kid Smooth, let's just say it's legendary. That's all I gotta say. What Kid Smooth has done with the game so far is legendary. Definitely.
Nah, the coon, bro. That first boss fight, that mini boss at the gate, I beat it in 3 tries. It took Kid Smooth damn near close to 3 hours just to get past that at one point.
There you go then. So I would say that maybe it's just because he's on it. Remember, he has to beat the game. What was it, Spartan? He has to beat the game in 40 hours?
40 hours. Yeah, 40 hours,
he has to
not
beat
easy.
Every single boss. He has to make it from point A to point B to the ending in 40 hours. That's a lot of pressure. Plus, he has to legit. So that's crazy. That's like me saying I have to beat Resident Evil 2 remake in 45 minutes.
Yeah, and that's
what I'm saying? Like
that's crazy.
Exactly. If I haven't played the remake, I played the original, right? The original I played, but I haven't played the remake. I don't know what they did with the remake, especially if it was new at the time. So the fact they expect you to do that in 45 minutes is that's pretty tough.
Yeah, it's pretty telling, man. You have to everything takes practice and patience with every single game. There is not a game in the world that you're gonna on first hand you're gonna be a beast and you're gonna beat it really quick. It takes time to study the design, the overall design of the game. in reality. You cannot just think that just because you pick up, let's say for example, oldie but a good game that I used to play a lot, and that was the remake of Shinobi on the PS2.
Yeah.
I thought I was gonna breeze through the game. I was like, oh yeah, this is nice and flashy. Yeah, I could do stealth dashes.
Very true.
Bro, let me tell you, when you
Kuhn said it best. He said it's a die and learn. It really is a die and learn game. Sometimes
it's just like it's just like
yeah.
every typical Dark Souls game, and just like the typical Bloodborne game, you die in order to study the pattern. You die in order to know what the outcome is. You gotta study the way you approach your attacks. You gotta study the approach of how you engage the enemies. Everything within the game, especially in Sekiro, so far, from my experience, is through patience and just studying the enemies and leveling up, and also pay attention to the prompts in the menu. Like if they're telling you something, they're giving you a hint. Look at the button sequence. Okay, you press square for this. You press L1 and R2 to do this. Do that because it actually helps you to navigate yourself through any tough situation within the game itself. Don't just think that you're just gonna go in there, and just, oh yeah, I'm gonna hack it. No, bro, this is not that type of game. This is the thinking game where you're gonna have to literally use every ounce of your attention to detail in order to get past through it.
I don't know if Foxy is okay. I sent it directly to his actual email.
Yeah, just send it through the Hangouts, bro. It actually worked better.
I don't know what's going on. That's weird. Hey Fox, you still there? I sent it to your email, bro. Sorry about that. Anyway, so Sekiro, would you say it's is it worth the buy? I know you have it and you're on it extensively. Is it worth the money?
It's worth the money if you're looking for a challenge.
Okay.
Like if you're a person that wants to be challenged, that you want to be in a game where you're going to engage yourself, and the overall experience from the game is going to give you that type of excitement, yes, it's worth the money. Now, for those people that are new to the series and new to the format of how, the Dark Souls and Bloodborne, it's going to be a little bit challenging because you don't know what to expect. For those people, I would say wait it out and purchase it when it's at a lower price. So this way you won't feel overwhelmed and start saying, oh, this game it sucks. I can't do this. I can't do. No. Wait it out. Wait till the price drops. Play it on your own time. You don't have to do speed runs. You don't have to think that you're just going to go through the game and it's going to be like, you're going to be cutting like hot knife through butter. No. This game requires for your attention to detail. Attention to detail is key in Sekiro. If you do not pay attention to any of the items that are placed around within the map area, even the actual weapons that you gain, you have to actually level those weapons up as well in order to progress further within the game.
You're just bringing up Neo vibes. That's all you had to do with Neo. You had to just level up your weapons and gear, level yourself up a bit.
Yeah, it's just like the typical Souls game. The typical Souls game is based in feudal Japan. Yeah. And you have to think like a shinobi. Like literally the game makes you.
What you say you just beat the ogre, right? You're not far, right?
No, I haven't. I'm up to the ogre right now. Like today I actually started playing against the ogre.
Okay. So I wanted to ask you now, you play Neo, so I don't know if you made it to the water boss. It was like a big water boss in Neo.
Yeah, I seen that fight with that boss. That was not easy.
That boss was annoying my first playthrough, but I'm wondering if the overall bosses are on that same level of just like no.
All right. Listen, man. Judging from what I'm seeing and what I've felt so far with playing the game, there are certain aspects of the game that is going to test you. It's going to really test your patience. It's going to really test how you really want to engage the enemies. It's the same way as you would play with in Neo, where you have to approach every enemy with caution. Because not all the enemies are going to be dummies. They're going to really study the way you fight them each time. It's not like when you go in, like in Devil May Cry, and then you just go to the same area, and the same enemies react the same way each time you face them. No, these enemies, they will either strafe to the left or to the right, or they will actually rush you and try to do the same tactics that you did from the first encounter that you did with them on your first try.
Yeah.
Really, Foxy? Come on, man. Yo, Google, man, y'all messing up today, man. Seriously.
Damn, are you serious? Damn, you sure you opened up in Google Chrome? What the hell is going on here? God damn, that's crazy. So, one second. This is crazy. This is why Google is definitely on some other stuff too. Show's been weird. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it's been acting weird because even when I received the invite through Twitter, it did not let me link in at all.
I'll do this. Maybe this will fix it. Usually I just send the URL and it works. So let's do this one. And if this doesn't work, then this shit is definitely bugged.
But once again, ladies and gentlemen,
try this one, Foxy.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, just enjoy the game for what it is. Don't try to take it on, oh, because this person said it was hard, I can't approach the game. Don't take it in that same mentality. Approach the game. Learn the basics of the game. Study the in-menu prompts. Look for items. Look for weapons. Look for things that'll give you the advantage.
What attributes do you think people should focus on? Vitality, or should they focus on attack?
Officially, the game you start with very little health. I know that once you beat certain enemies, especially the bosses, you gain more vitality with the beads, and that's how you progressively enhance your overall health. At max, you get to use about, I think, is like about 7 to 10 of the health guards, and like about maybe 12 or 13 of the health pellets at max. But the weapons themselves, especially the overhand shield that you use in order to blunt the heavy enemies, that is a very beneficial weapon.
Okay.
Very beneficial.
Let me give some shout outs out in the chat. Shout out to the family, everybody that's here already, but to everybody else who just jumped in. Fernando, Jamar Bates, what's going on? Geico, what's going on? Impatient Fire, everybody, I see y'all.
Welcome, everyone.
Daniel, what's up? Who else is in here? Red Alert.
Shout out.
Oh, and look who joined us, the Fox. What's going on?
Oh my God, the Fox. The Fox has entered the building, ladies and gentlemen.
Dude, I've never had trouble joining anything in my life. Nothing. Not even a queue to get into a nightclub.
It's weird. I hit the same way like I did it last time. I just sent the link. I guess you got to hit share when we do it this way, which is stupid. That's great. They didn't even tell us to change. Awesome.
Well, look, here's what I was getting. It told me that there's an error with the link. It told me that the hangout had ended. The video call had ended. It gave me everything but an entry fee.
Well, nonetheless, we're here, episode 54, RGT. Everybody already knows Fox is here, Carlos is here. Everybody else who will be joining us, they'll be joining us a little later during the show. So
whoa! I see an image in my my screen. Whoa! Who could that be?
Oh, I see it too. Dread from it, run from it. But it looks like the Messiah has arrived.
What's happening?
Man.
I had to clear out something called my cookies on the computer.
Good to hear from you, Craig. Good to hear from you, brother.
You do. I know how to do that. I don't know what that is, so I had to look that up.
All right. Okay. Well,
what's happening?
Craig, you had trouble getting in as well. Did it say you had to clear your cookies?
Yeah, I don't know what that.
I got that. I got that.
Wow, Jesus Christ! Great job, Google.
I actually thought, that R&B singer Ciara. I thought it was my cookies.
Yeah.
My cookies.
I know my computer ate cookies, but I guess I had to clear them out. So.
All right. Well, technical issues aside, we're here, episode 54. Without further ado, y'all already know the panel. Y'all know what we do. every Friday for you guys. We love doing it. We love entertaining you guys. So thank you guys so much for joining us. Without further ado, let's get into the first topic of this lovely evening. Let's talk about the future of PlayStation. As you guys may have heard, Kazuo Hirai is officially retiring from PlayStation after 35 years of service. Now, a lot of people might be alarmed by this because he is not the first one to leave Sony this generation. At the start of this generation, when we first got the reveal of the PlayStation 4, we had Jack Tretton. Jack Tretton was the first. After Jack Tretton, we had the new guy, Adam Boyes, leave. And then after Adam Boyes left, we had Andrew House, the guy who introduced the PS4. And now officially we have Kazuo Hirai, who was the CEO of Sony after leading the company back into the green when it was in the red for quite some time, since the PlayStation 3. Thoughts? Who would like to go first?
Oh, I will. Congratulations, and he's going out on top, and that's pretty much all you can really say. Shout out to him for doing a great job. He put a good team together, and so that's pretty much all you can really say about him.
Okay.
Negative to say.
Everybody said you riding hard for Stadia, so I guess you're happy that he's gone.
No, I mean it's the truth. I mean, he put a great team together. I think they may have been in a bad spot, and he led them out, helped lead them out, put a good team together, helped lead them out. So
okay,
yeah, hate to see that team break up, but it's kind of like we won the Super Bowl or whatever you want to call it, the championship. We're the champ, so go out, retire on top, like Gronk did. Just retire on top.
Absolutely. Fox, what's your thoughts on it?
So, what was the question?
Yeah. Oh, Kazuo Hirai.
Right, yeah. Well, it's end of an era, isn't it? The man's been 35 years in the game. No pun intended. I mean, he deserves a break, right? I mean, I shudder to think what his retirement check looks like, but well done. Good for him.
Yeah. Now a lot of people probably are looking at that as like a bad thing for Sony because he's been, remember, he's not the first one to leave this generation.
Yeah, but he hasn't been actively involved in PlayStation hardware business since the end of the PS3 era. He took a backseat ages ago. It's like his role in PlayStation has been minimal since he took the reins of Sony and turned around their terrible financial situation like a decade ago. So it doesn't matter, really. Right. I mean, he's still involved on a consultation level.
Yeah, I don't know if he's even going to be. Well, he probably will, because I remember Andrew House still kind of showed up around events, gaming events, even though he retired from PlayStation. So he probably will still be around. It just, obviously he won't have like a authoritative type role anymore. That's probably what it is. So
well, this is the best time to leave. Andrew House left on a high note. Yeah. Company's in good shape, at least PlayStation. This is a good time to leave.
Yeah, and they said that. I remember Jack Tretton said that when he officially left, when he quote unquote dropped the mic when he was talking to Jeff Keighley about leaving on a high note. It was talking about redemption.
Right? Jack Tretton, that was an excuse. He left because Sony refused to increase his salary. That's why he left.
Really it?
He didn't want to leave.
That was a rumor. Really, that was really it.
No, that was real. There was in terms of renewing contracts and stuff. I think they wanted to pay him the same. As he was getting before. I mean, he didn't leave for retirement reasons. He left and said, well, screw that, I'm going to start up my own thing. And he sort of helps with funding for independence now. So yeah, but given the pay rise or whatever he was looking for, Jack Tretton still would have remained at Sony.
Okay. Somebody corrected me in the chat. DJ, he said he will be available to consult. Okay, that's cool. That's great. So what do you think the future holds for Sony now that he's officially going to be retiring? Because right now they're saying that they're still focusing on their entertainment, their consoles and whatnot. But what do y'all think the future holds now that he's officially going to be retiring?
Well, imagine throwing a stone into a pond and watching the water ripple, right? Well, that won't happen. Nothing's going to change. It's going to be business as normal. Okay. It won't affect Sony PlayStation business in any way, shape, or form.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. Keep on. Congrats to him, though. Congrats to him, but they're going to keep on moving. Keep doing it.
It's very, very well deserved. The guy's been around for the longest. He has seen everything. He was there from the very highs with the PlayStation 2 to the very lows at the start of the generation with the PS3. He was there. The guy was always there. Never gave up. And he showed you that, he had a game plan, and it definitely worked out for him in the long run. So definitely happy retirement to Kazuo Hirai for sure. Let's talk about, I don't know why this is even a big thing. I saw this like recommended to me like 5 times, but people are really talking about this controller leak.
Oh man,
this controller was all over my timeline. Plus, we had a lot of people going crazy. They're like, "Dude, look at the touchscreen." I'm like, guys, chill.
Yeah, I got one thing to say about that. I think it's fake, like fake 4K. But with that said, I'm amazed by people in the Xbox community that are literally saying they need to make that Sony needs to make their gamepad like more like the Xbox. That's a joke. No, losers do not dictate what the winners do. If anything, both of those joysticks, I work in the medical field. Both those gaming pads, are ergonomic for your hands. They just are. They work fine. The Xbox is heavier on your wrists, but better in your fingers. And the PlayStation is the opposite. But they're both ergonomically fine. But the outright audacity to literally run around and say, "Oh, you should put them where the Xbox has them." Yeah, right. Xbox has about a good 1,000 joysticks or gamepad. So, but I think it's a leak, and I think it's fake. And I'll just wait for Sony to come out. I mean, all these leaks and what maybe.
Craig, I've seen more convincing leaks in my toilet.
Correct. And I saw your video today, Fox, and I loved it. I mean, like I said, I thought it was fake. Like I said, it's fake news. If it looks like that, fine. But I don't know why there's an instant comparison to make it like something else.
Yeah.
And again, if I have an engine and I've sold 100 million versions of my engine, and your engine's doing so bad, you won't tell people how many you've sold. You really think I'm gonna make my engine like yours? No.
Shout out to the most entertaining dude out here these last couple weeks. This man got me through work. Kid Smooth in the chat. How you doing, my brother? Welcome. If you want a link, I'll more than likely send you the link if you would like a link.
Yeah, it seems like a waste having the great Kid Smooth in the chat, like a common.
It'd be great to see.
Like a commoner. Jump in.
Yeah, definitely. If he's up to him though, if he's got time, I'll most definitely send him the link. He can definitely give us his thoughts on a few of these things.
That's not to say people in the chat are commoners, though. I'm just having a giggle.
So, you thought it was fake too? You thought that was fake as well, Foxy?
Sorry?
You thought that joystick or gamepad leak was fake too, like fake 4K?
I was as sure that was a leak as I am that I am a brown man with bronze skin. Yes, it's a fake. immediately, I as soon as I saw it, I felt compelled to tweet, "This is Jeep Shop 5," because I've already got a mental image of what DualShock 5 is in my head from how it's been described to me. At least 4 of the designs. I know about 4 of the designs. Yeah. They're very close to each other. It's just a matter of taste and perception. But it didn't match up to anything I've been told, and it looked a bit. It looked like a bootleg Hirai.
That's exactly what it looks like.
Yeah, that's exactly
if you went to Hirai, that I got the exact same shape and design, the exact same, like from head to toe. So yeah, that makes more sense. But
hey, what's up, Jordan Dizzle?
What's going on? Yeah, I see the situation as this. I'm like, I don't know. That's not something I would really think that they would okay as the finished product. Some people, hell, I remember like some of these leaks, right? You know, the DualShock 4. Some of these leaks, you're just showing a regular DualShock 4 with a new looking box. So.
Not even that. Remember when the PS3 was supposedly leaked out, and they had so many different designs for the DualShock 3, and it went back to what the PS2 controller looked like. So anything can happen. At this point, take the leaks as a grain of salt. Don't try to amp it up as, oh, that's the it design. No. At any moment in time, the PlayStation designers can actually make up their minds and change the controller scheme completely up to their liking. Because remember, they go through vigorous vigorous mock-ups, and they go to vigorous like, you know, testing with actual individuals, putting the controllers in their hands, asking them, hey, does the R2 L2 button feel more adequate to your liking? How does the thumbsticks layout feel on your hand? How's the overall feel of the grasp when you grasp the controller? Does it feel comfortable? Does it really make your, you know, does it bother your wrist? There's a lot of things that are going to go into development for the controller for next gen that a lot of people just got to, you know, take a chill pill. It's not the final design. Once we know the reveal of the console, that's when we'll see the actual controller.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, really, they don't really have to do much. The controller, all they gotta do is just copy and paste what we already have. That's it.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think the controller is the least of anyone's concern. To be honest, that's. Don't be concerned about the controller. It takes a lot to screw up a controller. Believe me, ask Atari.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh my god.
Without further ado, though, let's move on to, while we're here, obviously, we buy these consoles for games, right? So let's get into the games. Sony's State of Play. Now, State of Play was their first ever, pretty much Nintendo Direct style event. And they announced quite a bit of games. But really, the episode 1, they said, literally, they legit prominently said this is episode 1. So episode 1 strictly focused on VR. They had a bunch of VR games. Obviously, they started off the show pretty strong with a show of Iron Man. I was looking at the Iron Man gameplay. I ain't gonna lie, I actually thought that was legit going to be like a AAA like project type of thing they're gonna do, but it's VR. So I know Craig's got VR. I know Clay's got one. So what you think about it? The VR Iron Man.
Yeah, me personally, I enjoyed the show. I mean, I don't know what I just think it's to a point if Sony can tell people what they're going to do and people just don't believe it. They specifically said, yeah, we're going to have VR titles and a few other things launched. The No Man's Sky being in VR, that resold No Man's Sky for me.
You're gonna buy No Man's Sky for the VR option.
Yeah, again, I mean, I already played it, beat it when it came out, you know, a couple years ago. I'll buy it and play it in VR. So, but yeah, that's exactly what they're using those shows for.
How do you feel this Iron Man project's going to be, though? Is it going to be like,
the main announcement there was that they're working with Marvel on something different. They specifically put in the screenshot, not actual game footage, or this is not the real game footage, something like that. So that's one thing. It was just to pretty much announce it, that Marvel was so impressed by what they did, what Sony did with Spider-Man, with Insomniac, because that was Sony that went to Marvel and said, look, try these guys out. So Sony put the neck on the line for it. But at the end of the day, they're happy with what Insomniac did with Spider-Man and that they're giving them another IP. We'll just have to see how it works. We'll have to wait and see.
Craig, can I just ask you? You know, everyone's got their own perception of things, and you'll see things differently to me and other people. But what was so impressive about the Iron Man trailer? They hardly showed any actual in-game play. It was mostly CGI, even said not actual gameplay. And what they did show looked like you could play that on a mobile.
No, again, you're right. That was more of an announcement of we're teaming up with Marvel on another project. That's it. That's the way I look at it.
You think they just threw that out there for the sake of throwing out there?
It's definitely not going to be on Spike. Nowhere, not even I wouldn't even say 1/16 of Marvel Spider-Man's quality. It's not going to be anywhere near it.
Probably not.
Yeah, it's probably going to be more likely. Y'all remember that VR Spider-Man game we got for PS4? It was their first ever VR Spider-Man game. Like where you can look in the briefcase, got the spider suit, you can shoot the web shoot. It's probably going to be that type of quality.
Well, it may very well be an amazing experience, but from what they've shown, it's very difficult to come to some type of conclusion.
Yeah.
We know he has Friday, and he's not using Jarvis, so that was kind of the other thing. Again, that's kind of a deep cut if you follow the Iron Man thing. But again, it was more or less we're working with Marvel on another IP. That's what I took from it. Like, you kept hearing people say Iron Man IP because of what was going on with EA and that horrible thing they call Anthem. So they're like, okay, here's an Iron Man VR IP. It may be straight trash, but just have to wait and see. At least they're investing. Sony paid off I can't remember who's the guy out now. It's not Ryan. The guy that's Sean Layton, I believe.
Sean Layton.
Yeah, Sean Layton.
A few months ago, saying that they are going to invest in bigger VR experiences. They're paying that off. That's all I looked at it.
Okay.
That was Shuhei.
Perception.
Said that.
Yeah,
it was. But at least this is them paying that off. Even with
you know what, they're in a kind of, they're caught between a rock and a hard place. So if you think about it, I mean, I don't want to put PlayStation VR down, so I hope the chat doesn't jump on me for this statement. But I got to keep it real. You know, I speak my mind, and you know, my mind speaks. Okay, but in terms of PlayStation VR, it's 4.2 million attach rate compared to the almost 100 million PS4s out there. It's minimal. Okay, so here's the thing. Sony are caught between a rock and a hard place because it hasn't been out long enough for them to abandon it. And two, they've got to support the 4.2 million users. They have to. It's just terrible PR if they suddenly done a PlayStation Vita on the PlayStation VR unit. Okay. So I'm sure, though, somewhere in Sony is a man sitting, or a woman sitting at a desk huddled over, wishing they hadn't put so much of a gamble on VR really taking off, because by Sony's own admission, VR has just not taken off for them. And if you think Sony's not doing great in the field, they are the top selling VR manufacturer out there. So that means all the other companies doing VR are selling even less.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, for sure.
You know,
The situation though, you know what I kind of would have hoped for, like it definitely would have sealed the deal for me if they had announced obviously the Iron Man VR, but plus, like, let's say they announced another third-party developer working with them, like Insomniac, and they were working on Iron Man game like on the scale of Spider-Man. That would have sealed the deal for me, period.
I just don't see that type of investment for PlayStation VR. There's just not enough.
No, not for VR. It's just for PS4 in general, like like Spider-Man for the PS4,
like a Spider-Man game, like Iron Man game.
Yeah, open world.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, if they could do that, then they could make Superman.
That would have sold me completely on anything, really. But I mean, I get it. VR is definitely doing well. 4.2 million, right? They got to sell it. They got to keep it out there. That's fine. I mean, that's what they wanted to do. But I'm saying, in future investors, because remember, let's be real here. Spider-Man proved that there is a big thing out there for superhero games. It's superhero game.
The Iron Man games haven't been historically very good. In fact, the best Iron Man related game I ever played was not even a game. It was a Grand Theft Auto 5 mod. What does that tell you?
Oh, God.
Well, you think about it, though. Like, come on, think about it. Because remember, Spider-Man went through development hell with a lot of developers, too, though. Remember, Spider-Man didn't have a whole bunch of quality games.
Yeah, but they at least got one or two of them.
They had one or two. They're like Spider-Man 2,
didn't they?
and that was made for the movie was good.
I mean, there's been a lot of terrible Batman games, but there's also a lot of good ones.
Absolutely, exactly.
It's just a phase. It's just a phase. It's just a development phase. I mean, you gotta get all the kinks out of the games. You're gonna have hot garbage games, regardless of how.
I think you need a competent studio, one, and you need to base it on an original story.
That could actually benefit it in the long run, because
and a lot of people with not to interrupt you, Carlos, Iron Man is retiring in 4 weeks.
Oh man,
so there's really no reason to invest in a Iron Man major IP.
Wait, Downey Jr. it up?
No, Downey Jr. is no longer playing Iron Man after this new Avengers movie.
Endgame.
That's gonna be odd. That's gonna be really odd.
So Iron Man's retiring. All Chris Hemsworth, Chris Evans, and Downey Jr. Their contracts are done.
Did you see the what was it, the poster for it? They were showing off the ones who lived and those supposedly died. They actually confirmed that Shuri didn't survive the snap. They confirmed
a lot of people didn't survive that.
A lot of people didn't survive the snap, and we thought we were good. Even Valkyrie supposedly didn't survive the snap.
Yeah,
because that was the thing. They said that she didn't. I gotta bring it back up.
So here's a question: where is Microsoft's comic representation? I mean, they need to have their own, really, don't they? At least maybe from the DC universe. But where is theirs? They need something.
I think they could go for the Incredible Hulk. I mean,
but Nintendo has, right? Nintendo's got something. The mobile space has got something. PC's got something. Well, PC can have everything with mods. PlayStation's got something, but Xbox doesn't have a
superhero
go-to superhero.
You know,
I mean, Crackdown
I would
3,
think
one would
that they
argue,
would
is close, but
try
it's not
Black
a
Panther.
cigar, is it?
Yeah, you would think that they would at least embrace Black Panther. 'Cause remember, they embraced it for the DVD. Y'all remember that? The exclusive
Oh yeah,
DVD? I'm
yeah. Now
surprised
all
they
of us,
didn't go the extra mile and
Yeah.
actually, partner up with a third-party studio, give them a budget, and let them make a legit, like, come on. If y'all think about it, I want y'all to understand, like, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Black Panther is worth like $90 trillion with vibranium. The dude is richer than Bruce Wayne. They can make a crazy world if you give a proper team the proper, drive and motivation to do it. They can create Wakanda and make it dope. That would be amazing. They can have their own Black Panther game. That would sell Xboxes.
Well, that means they have to go negotiate the deal, and because Sony is already in a working relationship film-wise with Disney Marvel, Sony always will have an upper hand in negotiations. That's the way that's going to work. So because Sony,
but correct,
still needs Spider-Man, and not vice versa. Sony made almost $1 billion with Venom, and that movie did not have Spider-Man in it. And they almost
I don't know about you. I just wasn't feeling that. I don't know. I don't know if it's just
either, but their point
I happen to like Venom. It was funny.
You see, some people like it. Me, I'm like, I don't know. I'll tell you what I liked about the Venom movie, Craig. So I don't know if we're on the same page here. The voice acting for Venom was spot on. Perfect.
Yeah, I mean, that was fine. That was Tom Hardy.
Spot on voice for Venom. The fact that they got his him like biting people's heads off and whatnot, that was actually good to see.
Yeah,
and got that right.
But my point is that when you're negotiating, they can say we have and they just announced a Morbius movie. They just announced that. So Sony is continuing they're going to make a Silk movie. That's the female Spider-Man, not Spider-Gwen. It's the real Spider-Woman is Silk. So it's just when you go to negotiate, yeah, Hulk would be nice, but Hulk's owned by Universal and is partially still owned by Marvel, and that's just a pain in the ass to negotiate.
So how's that Captain Marvel movie doing?
Is Chris Evans' contract up?
Yeah, he said he was crying. He was on the Hollywood Reporter and for like a 3-minute interview, and he said he asked for the shield and the uniform. So he said he's going to ask for that.
Craig, how's that Captain Marvel movie doing with Brie Larson? Is that any good?
935 million worldwide. Expected to hit 950 this weekend.
I thought it was. What's with all the negativity surrounding that movie? I don't understand.
Because she made a comment regarding, I think it was a role she had. She said no guy or something like that can tell me this, that, and third. That's what she said. It was a while back.
I mean, what's wrong with her saying that no guy can tell anything? What's wrong with her being?
Weird.
Is she meant to put an apron on and just smile and do the dishes?
Yeah, you got a lot of men that I call them man babies, and they think a woman's place is in the home and in the kitchen washing dishes. And Captain Marvel, they're like, she's so powerful, and she's very powerful. It's ridiculous how powerful she is. But they were just upset with her, and the movie's successful. That's really burning their ass. I mean, it's burning their ass.
I just don't understand. Women are the most lovable creatures on earth. Why is there so much antagonizing around them?
I love it.
It's called fake outrage, and it really drives the drama, man. That's how it is now. Fake outrage really starts a whole rippling effect, and it turns into a big splash for no reason.
Yeah, it was the movie isn't great. And see, because of Carlos is right, the outrage was so fake that if you have a legitimate criticism of the movie, you get called a hater. Even though you have a legitimate criticism, it's just like, okay, well, they're just gonna call you a hater because the movie is making, like, they backed up, like I said, a fucking dump truck to Kevin Feige's house and it started dumping money out. So it's gonna make $1 billion by the end of it.
Her what's the name? What was her in screen or her not her in screen, but her in credit scene was a little I mean it was all right, I guess, but that was pretty
I loved it. It was pissed.
Oh man, I love women too much to hate on them, man.
Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah, we have one in the panel right now. She hasn't cordially introduced herself.
I like how she slid in here, didn't even say what's up. What's up, Nancy? What's going on?
Not much. Sorry, I just been going crazy, and I, just been, just playing mostly all week. Just been playing my Sekiro game.
Well,
Oh, we
I
don't
know,
know.
miss. I
you
know
missed,
that
oh,
that
you
Sekiro
said
fever is running
Sekiro.
rampant.
You missed the talk we had at the beginning of that for that game because Smooth was in the chat. I don't know if he's still there, but so I know you're far in Sekiro. Are you almost done with the game?
Yes.
You're almost done. Okay, so do you mind explain to everybody your experience with it? Is it the hardest game of 2019?
It's hard. I don't
Uh-huh.
know if it's the hardest game of 2019. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say it's the hardest. It's just that, like any Souls games, you got to get the bosses are a pain in the ass.
Okay.
It is what it is. I mean, it's a Souls game. The bosses are just going to be a pain in the ass.
Okay.
I actually I'm enjoying the game. I'm like it. I think to me right now it's close to a 10.
Close to a 10.
Yeah.
Nah, that game is that good, man. Y'all guys gotta play it, man. I'm telling you.
Well,
No, I
game-
don't doubt it. I don't doubt it.
I'm
But
getting
that's
the
quite
vibes I'm
a
getting for it though.
that's
Is
quite
it
a
better than
recommendation.
Devil May Cry?
Yes, it's way better. It's better than Devil May Cry.
I'm actually at the last boss right now.
Oh shit!
Yeah, but Nancy, we know you're a real gamer, you know. So anything you say about what games you have, I believe you.
There
Yeah.
you go. There you go.
Even
Well,
though
it's not about believing. It's just that it is what it is.
No, I mean,
just
some
love
people
those
will
type of
say,
games, but
some people will say they're at the end, and they're not really at the end at all. They probably haven't even gotten
Not
halfway.
even touch.
oh, you can actually look. I put a clips,
Yeah,
so
she put
you can see.
Yes.
it's called, what do they call them? The kids call them receipts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got my receipts up there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Work
break
with
down that means, yeah.
You know what? In this day and age, you gotta have receipts.
Yeah, but I
Because
don't
it's like whatever you did didn't happen. Whatever you said, you didn't say. You know, the way the internet twists things, right? You need receipts, man. It's
Yeah.
almost your get out of jail card.
Yeah, somebody said you don't have enough receipts on your Xbox. I say, yeah, it's trash. Of course I don't have receipts.
I'll be thus far from my experience with the game and how, I mean, I'm the type of person that I love the feudal Japan setting. It is a very rich and vivid, artwork in that time in history.
Why do the shadows have to die twice? I mean, why can't you just kill it one time? Why?
I mean, the saying goes that in order for you to kill a shadow, you have to become one.
Well,
big
but it
talk,
comes
man.
back. You got to kill it twice. It comes back like a herpes. You know.
That's the reason why you hear the saying shadows die twice. You have to become one in order to kill one.
I'll put some cream on it. It'll go away.
That's all you think about is cream.
Oh, God, man.
Oh no.
Craig, that explains a lot, the shadow thing, because I was wondering what's been following me around all these years.
Yeah, it's got to die twice. Yeah.
I mean, you've passed gas. You know that shadow's going somewhere.
I mean, if you die and come back, it's gonna come out. It's got to go back to prison with you. I guess.
I am waiting for Ghost of Tsushima.
I'm waiting for the Ghost of Tsushima.
I'm really
man.
hype for his Ghost of Tsushima.
It's better than that. Somebody
Man,
wanted to ask you that.
What did you think? Now you got your point there. What did you think about Kazuo Hirai retiring from Sony after 35 years of service?
You know what? Actually, I haven't been keeping up with the news, so maybe he's just tired. Maybe he just wants to do something else. After a while, when you're in a job so long, you could love it all you want, but sometimes, when it comes to video games and running businesses like that or doing anything, it wears on you after a while.
Yeah,
you could love it as much, but you got so many hours you got to put into that job. It's not a 9 to 5 like people think it is.
Yeah, and you can see it's taking its toll on him. I mean,
yeah, I think he's just
for men in that Just for Men era, like the grace just on him.
Yeah, I think he's just worn. I don't think it's anything else. I think he's just worn, and that
35
happens.
years though. That's like that's life. That's life plus another felony, isn't it?
It's not only that though. You got to realize how many hours he put in. So he probably put if he did it for 30 years, okay, yeah. He didn't do a 9 to 5. He probably put almost 60 years in with his time.
Family would have suffered because that's a high profile, high powered role.
Yeah.
Very, very true.
That's all I'm saying. You got to realize he probably put in maybe not 60 years, but he probably put in instead of 30 years, he probably close to 50 years with how many hours he put in.
Yeah.
Very, very.
I mean,
true.
you do deserve a break from work. You do deserve that time in your life where you've accomplished so much that you have already reached that pinnacle summit, and you just want to lay back and just watch.
I was probably 6 months or 1 year old when he started working for Sony.
God damn, Foxy, we getting old, man.
It's just time for him. It's just time for him to do something for himself, live a little bit. You know,
he done a good job. He left a legacy in good hands. I mean, at the end of the day, look, he turned Sony around. The PS3 damaged Sony badly, and he was tasked. Sadly, he had to fire a lot of people. He himself, he'd even take a bonus for years until the company's finances were straightened out. He invented new companies such as the Sony finances, like the credit card and loans and stuff.
Revitalized certain IPs with.
So some people would say, "Oh, that man fired me," but then what are you meant to do? The company's failing. Do you know what I'm saying? Something has to go, right?
All right, but first of all, if you were doing your job properly, he may not have had to.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure they had to let the first. The last ones in were probably the first ones out.
Yeah, that was the thing about Sony back in the day. They were too arrogant. They were known for back in the 90s, we knew Sony for everything: Walkmans, TVs, radios, all that junk. They had it all. And in the moment the market got more aggressive and more competitors got in there with more advanced stuff.
Ken Kutaragi, isn't it? He said,
Ken Kutaragi,
you will gladly work 2 jobs to buy PlayStation.
That
was where it went downhill from there.
Ken Kutaragi
I didn't need 2 jobs for that one. Like I literally bought that PlayStation 3 like at least a year after it got released.
Yeah, I'm sitting there going, Ken, really? So you really think people are gonna? Because I remember when Morgan Webb. This is back with X-Play. Like y'all going back in time here. Y'all remember with X-Play when they did that interview? She was like, "Yeah, I remember the most important question Sony has to answer at this year's E3 is the PS3 worth it?" Like, perfect.
That was one of the pinnacle comments of that year. Like people ran with it so hard that they even asked them plenty. Even after they did the showcase for the PlayStation 3, they asked them that very same question: is the PS3 worth it, and why do you need 2 jobs in order to buy one?
Yeah, you remember with what was his name? Adam Sessler. I remember Adam Sessler, right? Everybody missed that dude is a legend. The reason why I miss Adam Sessler so much on TV and just in terms of journalism in general, the dude did not bullshit you. He told you right to your face. When the Sony came out, the PlayStation 3, and they first had those launch titles like Mobile Suit Gundam Crossfire. What was the other? Those other not Hellblade. It was like a sword game. He immediately told you, like, what am I looking at? This is trash. There was only one game that stood out for the PS3 at the time, and that was Resistance. One.
Yeah, well, the Resistance
is $600.
If you think about it, without your fanboy goggles on, and this applies to anybody, I think Sony's had as much screw-ups in their time as Microsoft has in this time. It's a distant memory now, but I think of all the screw-ups Sony had during the PS3 era, like the PSN outage, the inferior multiplats, the overpriced console, the late to market 1 year. I mean, if you add all that up, it's similar to how Microsoft's Xbox One gave them a bad rep this gen.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the whole thing, like you all just brought up about the everybody loves to bring up the 1080p makes you a better gamer, which is a throwaway BS line. But I mean, what about the line when that guy said the system is so good, you're going to go out and get a second job? It's like, yeah, right. Nobody's going to do that when your competing console is, whatever, $100 to $200 cheaper and playing a lot of the same games. That was retarded. It's the same way now. I mean, nobody was going to go out when the PlayStation was $100 cheaper and buy your diabetic gaming console. I mean, that's the best way to put it, so, and that's what happened this time.
What did you say? Say again.
Yeah, that's a diabetic gaming console. We must amend all so it's unfortunate, but that's called capitalism.
That's a new one, boy. That's a new one
from next gen. Yeah, shout out
malnourished. That's like malnourished.
Yeah, good speedy recovery for my boy Next Gen, man. He had a recent knee surgery.
Hey, get well soon to
Yeah,
next
I sent him a tweet.
720.
Yeah, I don't even know the guy, but I've been in hospital. I've had many operations. So
Well, put it this way, guys. I got one thing I got to say about next gen. Free next gen, guys.
There you go.
Free them.
Number love to next gen 720. Courtesy RGT.
Nah, they got that guy's a fucking idiot, and he's just an idiot, and he was saying some nasty racist shit, talking like the only people that rape babies or rape people are black dudes.
Yeah.
Oh hell no!
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Stupid.
That boy needs his ass whooped and an attitude adjustment.
Well, the ass whooping will provide that. But nah, it's it's unfortunate. But yeah, like I said, I was at the store the other day paying off Days Gone. Days Gone looking good. It's not downgraded. I don't know what Kofi and Eric are gonna talk about now because this game's not downgraded. But I was paying mine off and it took forever because these black dudes were in front of me getting rid of their Xbox X and getting the greatness, which is the PlayStation Pro. So
Snap.
yeah. And he's like, well, man, what game do you think I ought to get? I said, you got to get that Horizon Zero Dawn. And then just I said, just sit down and enjoy it.
So, right.
Yeah, right.
What else there to talk about here in this gaming world? What was it? Apple? It was the Apple Arcade. Is that what it was called? Apple Arcade? What's this about?
One of my worst performing videos. I covered that.
I didn't even bother looking at it. What was it like?
Nobody
I didn't
cares.
heard about it.
Honestly, I got the lowest views for that video. I mean, I don't really care about views, but you notice these things, right?
Yeah.
You see, yesterday's video did this amount, and now this one's done a paltry amount, and that's because I led with the Apple story. No one cares. I always know from my video interests about the topic who really cares.
Yeah.
Well, I cared. I watched it.
It's a good barometer.
Yeah, but I enjoyed it. It's just good to see the companies are trying to create new revenue streams, and
aren't the games free anyway? Like, come on, why are you sticking them all together without ads and then trying to charge people monthly when they can just download the game for free and pay for what they want?
But it's Apple. See, that's why Apple.
I'm with the guys in the chat. It just doesn't sound right. Apple Arcade.
Yeah, well, it's Apple anti-consumer.
Yeah, it don't sound right. Apple Arcade.
That's the new Xbox word. Is Apple mean anti-consumer?
They'll probably have a summer of Apple. They'll probably have a summer of Apple soon, like summer of Xbox. Remember the Xbox Arcade, that promotion thing?
Oh, that's
what are they going to do for the consumer next? Sell apple pies on the side?
Oh, that would be nice. Then give me some of that vanilla ice cream with it.
Oh, Jesus.
At least it's not cloud based. It's actually you can play offline, so that's something, I suppose.
Yeah.
But the cloud is just somewhere to store stuff, right? It's like a suitcase.
But if you have an internet connection problem, you can't access the game. But with Apple, apparently, if you've got it already downloaded, it's there regardless of your internet.
Oh,
yeah.
I got a question for you guys. Did you see something about I saw something briefly that Xbox says they're not going to participate in the April Fool's jokes when they've been the biggest joke of this generation?
Wow, shots fired.
Cool.
Maybe that's why, Nancy. They don't want to get into it. They preempt that all the jokes going to be about them, maybe.
Well,
well. We have to avenge the fallen. That's all. Let's avenge the fallen.
But anything negative to say about Microsoft? Surely it's been said already. I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
They haven't had any other recent screw ups that I don't know about, have they?
No, not that I know. The last time they did an April Fool's joke that was great though is with Titanfall. Y'all remember when they had Optimus Prime?
Who did that?
Y'all remember Microsoft had that when Titanfall was exclusive to Xbox and PC, and they had the April Fool's joke where the damn Titan turns into Optimus Prime.
Oh no, I didn't see that.
Yeah, sure. Look it up. It's like literally the Titan.
I didn't see it.
Optimus Prime, and then it said roll out, and it had the truck, and everybody thought that was DLC, but it turns out it was April Fool's joke.
It seems like it's like a lot of Xbox promotions lately. I just don't see it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Not gonna be able to do.
Where's Meds? I miss Meds. Where is he?
Meds is not gonna be joining us. He's on the actual bus, and he's gonna be here with us in spirit.
Oh, okay.
He's probably buzzing.
Wait.
You know he's
Fine.
watching low key. You know how Meds is. You watching low key. Shout out to our brother.
Yeah,
Meds.
shout out to our bro, man.
Shout out to our brother Meds. Let's see here. What else do I have to talk about for you guys? Hold on. Oh yeah, we talked about VR. 4.2 million sold. Good for Sony. Good for VR. Good to see us growing.
What about sorry to interject here. What about the I mean, I've noticed that there's a bit of traction on the whole 2 SKU PS5. Like there's people are starting to roll with the whole 8 T-flops and the more powerful one like Lockhart and Anaconda. I mean, that might be something worth exploring.
So you think? Okay, we can throw that in here. I didn't want to, I know a lot of people get tired of, spec leaks. That's why I didn't really have that in the title.
Oh, they're fake outrage. They're never tired.
Like,
Smooth, they're never tired, bro. They're never tired. Take note. All right, so 2 SKUs. They're basically going to be on par with the Anaconda and the Microsoft's Lockhart. Thoughts pretty much on this. What y'all think? Y'all think it's true? Y'all think we're gonna have 2 consoles? Maybe one that'll launch at the start, that'll be cheaper, and then they'll treat the other one like the PS4 Pro and launch that at a later date.
Yeah,
I'll go last.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I was told by Lou Waffa that that could be in the cards. He even said to me he doesn't know why people are running around saying that the Anaconda is going to be more powerful. He said that's not what he's seen so far. I mean, that was a few months ago. He said, I don't know why people are saying that. I haven't seen that.
That's how power work, though. We always talk about power, and after power is done, we immediately go to games. So,
that's what the console should be about. Is you should have some sort of power, but run the games. But you need the games. Without the games, the console's no good.
And somebody who's built the world's most powerful PC, if it won't matter if one is 12.9 and the other one's 11.6, because they're going to do the exact same things. They will. All these multi-plat games will look the same. They'll run the same. That's the rubber's gonna meet the road is that price point when they launch.
Okay. Good points for everybody. Great. He said Stadia fanboys come out. So Craig, honestly, you know what they have to beat. We all know what Sony and Microsoft have to beat with Stadia. It's 10.7 T-flops of performance. So obviously with these leaks, they're definitely putting the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Scarlet ahead of the
Mr. Cloud-Bit Gaming, if I may.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember some time ago, probably more than a year, coming up to 18 months ago, my very first PS5 video about the new studios, the DualShock, and Sony's projected target for power. Do you remember I said they were looking to have at least 4 T-flops more than the nearest competitor, which would be the Xbox One X, at 6 T-flops, which inevitably makes it 10 T-flops? Okay, let's fast forward. I'm very encouraged by Jason Schreier. Now I finally pronounced his name properly. Jason Schreier.
Schreier, not Schreier.
Yeah, not Schreier, Tucker Fryer. Schreier.
Schreier like a shear. Shear.
I'm so sorry for not being able to pronounce absolutely everybody's name.
Everybody was just pissed with the guy. Nobody really cared. I remember he was on
human flaw that I have. I'm sorry.
Just pissed with the guy.
Kind of onological. But here's the thing. If you skip forward to the present time, I'm very encouraged that Jason Schreier has come out and sort of validated that Sony are going to push for more than Stadia with their 10.7 T-flops. Because it's really unsatisfying when you know something and you decide, or you're not decide, but you're allowed to share it, and then you constantly get a barrage of doubters. And then when somebody more high profile says it, suddenly it's acceptable. Right. So I don't care to be the first, the last, my everything, Barry White. I don't care to, ever be, the most credible, as long as what I say has validity and is in time to come is shown to be as accurate as possible at the time of the recording. That's all I care about, man. Same with the PS4 Neo, which ended up being PlayStation 4 Pro.
Right.
How much information did I spill on that? Detailed information, not stuff that was just conjecture or in an article, detailed stuff that you'd only get from somebody with inside knowledge. And all of that pretty much turned out to be correct, you know. So hopefully maybe in 25 years from now, people will just accept that maybe I might be telling the truth.
Okay. Well, I don't disagree. You got a super chat there, Ryan. You got to pay the bills there.
Oh, okay. Let me interject real quick. Shout out to DarkLink999 or 999, you want to put it that way. Power won't matter next gen because let's be real, PS5 games will be made for PS5. All Xbox games will be made for the Xbox One and mind-hindering games. Good points. Good points.
Yeah. Well, my understanding of the PS5, it was the person that saw something running said the performance was close to a Ryzen CPU with like the 14 to 1500 range in the Vega, I think 56. I did a video on it, and lo and behold, that's what's starting to leak out. As far as performance, not the specs, not it's going to have 12 things of RAM or whatever in this bandwidth. No idea. But as far as your performance, that's what they were looking at.
Do we think it's wise that Sony releases, say, an 8.4 T-flop, 299 or 349 or even 399? I don't know where they're going with this.
They might go for the sweet spot.
Obviously, the same CPU as the premium model, the higher tier. But do you think it's wise for them to sort of skip that 3-year gap of a Pro model and just drop them both, you know, in the same time frame? Because I'm not sure that would be wise.
It's tough. Like, because remember, like, usually you run into issues with that. You know, we talk about shortages. You know, the console that people want to buy, it's not in stock because, you know, people would prefer the cheaper model, and then the higher tier one just be on the shelves. And usually, you know, it takes a minute for those higher ones, especially we're talking about pricing here. We don't know how much the higher tier one will be. Will it be 500? Well, you know, I guess the thing too.
And if they did release 2 models within the same sort of launch window, it's still going to drop another model in 3 years, you know, after that, right? Post the launch. Yeah. So what, we're going to have an entry 8 T-flop model. We're going to have an 11, 12 T-flop sort of premium model. And then 3 years later, what we're going to have? What, a pro model? What's going on here?
Right. Yeah, that don't make sense. Because I remember they said, like, well, a lot of analysts are saying that we're probably not going to see the end of mid-gen refreshes. We might see a repeat of that next gen. So again, it might be just wise.
Who said that?
I think it was Michael Pachter. Did he not say that?
No, Michael Pachter. It was actually Sony that said it.
Was it Sony? I thought it was Michael Pachter.
Sony said they're a big fan of the Pro model.
Oh, okay. So,
which led everyone to suggest or believe, or you know, a lot of conjecture and speculation about perhaps they're going to continue with the same business model.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but that's nice. MLB The Show's got a 1080p mode. It's got a 1440p mode, and it's got a 4K mode. I mean, it's perfect for everybody, you know, and it's got real HDR, not fake HDR like some of these other games. But
PS5's GPU, from my understanding, sits somewhere in between a Vega 56, Vega 64.
Yeah.
So, I don't know how you feel about that.
Yeah, which is like a 2060, I think, give or take. It may do better than that. I mean, the thing is I tell people it's going to be optimized for the PlayStation. So their games, their first-party games, are going to just blow your shorts off. Like,
and it's going to have ray tracing, real-time reflections as well. In fact, I'm going to put my reputation on it. Sony's going to have real-time ray tracing reflections, but it's going to be used very sparingly. It's not going to be the whole scene. It might be a puddle or the nearest window reflection.
Oh no!
You know the nearest window reflection to you, and then it kind of fades in as you walk along into the scene, like you know, pop in, like draw in. They're going to have to disguise it, because I tell you now, whatever T-flops it has, whether it be 12 T-flops or 10 T-flops, it doesn't matter. It's not going to be able to do ray tracing like we've seen with NVIDIA on the PC with those RTX 2080 Ti's. No way.
And why is it called, and with AMD, it's not, they're officially, it's called Radeon Rays. So that's already the first lie, is when they're like, well, they're going to have ray tracing. They can't. AMD does not have that.
And it's software based anyway. It's not even and hardware dependent, so it's going to be taxing.
Yeah, I just want the AI to be better. I was playing Witcher the other day, and I was riding the horse Roach, and I just rode right through somebody's clothesline. Like, didn't get knocked off the horse or nothing. So maybe the next generation, if you're playing that same Witcher game, the AI or whatever, he'll fall off the horse because he'll get clothesline, and the clothes will come down. The stuff like that is what I'm looking forward to. So, but my understanding is that the multi-plat games are going to pretty much be the same. It's just where the rubber meets the road is that price point per customer and these games. What do you want?
Same as what, Craig? Sorry, I'm lost. What are you saying? What the multi-plat's going to be the same? What are we comparing it to?
Well, performance-wise, like Madden will be the same on the PS5 and the new Xbox, and FIFA.
Oh, right.
You feel like it's parity between both.
Yeah, there'll be exact parity.
Yeah, you won't, even if Anaconda's 14 T-flops and PlayStation is just like 12, on screen, nobody's going to be able to say, hey, I can obviously see which one's more powerful. It's not going to be like with Xbox One X and Pro, where it's full native 4K, and then you can see it's slightly blurrier on the Pro. We're going to get to a point where the differentials are going to be so irrelevant that the numbers just don't matter anymore.
I don't disagree. I mean, they're having trouble now this year. Most of these multi-plat games said maybe Metro and then the new Dawn game, the Far Cry game. All these multi-plat games look and are running better on the Pro. I mean, the frame rates is a joke on that Xbox. I mean, you're getting like 21 frames on some of these games, which is even Digital Foundry's like, they're brute forcing 4K, and their frames per second are really starting to take a hit in these games.
Yeah,
the games are getting bigger and and much more demanding to render. And instead of them just dropping down to 1800 or 15 or 1440 and having real good frame rates, they're just destroying. I mean, people are struggling with these frame rates. Even this Sekiro, the game died twice. That's what's happening to these frame rates on the Xbox. It's dying, So, but it is what it is. I don't want to sound like I'm bad.
I still believe Halo Infinite on the Anaconda is going to be Microsoft's marquee tentpole game to show off what that next-gen system can do.
I think it's going to be the Forza. I think it'll be the next Forza game. I think
probably both of them. But in terms of an open world structure, because let's be honest, a racing game is not very difficult to look impressive. It's a very closed environment, isn't it? I mean, you're only going forward. I mean, but we're talking about an open world environment here. I think that will really allow Microsoft to flex the muscles of Anaconda, and you'll see how amazing games can be. Problem is, though, Microsoft is supporting multiple consoles. Like, they're still supporting Xbox One, the OG Xbox One at this point when Anaconda comes out. So I hope that it doesn't take away from how incredible next gen can be by supporting these older systems, because we saw what happened with the transition from PS3 to PS4 and Xbox 360 to Xbox One, that the first generation of multiplats really didn't look that much impressive compared to the last gen. It took a while, didn't it? Let's be honest. It happened to be the exclusives that really showed you, but people were complaining like, well, this is marginally better, higher resolution, but I don't see a big difference. It wasn't for like 2 years in that we started seeing real results. Do you know what I mean? So Microsoft needs to be careful that they're spreading their butter too thinly across all of
biscuits. On those biscuits. It's buttery now, Foxy.
He's always there. He was going to this.
Craig, come on the gamer couch on Sunday. You're a trip, man. Come on.
Oh yeah, I've been waiting for my invite. I thought I had gotten lost in the mail, but yeah, I'll be there.
I was just waiting for the controversy to die down.
Yeah, no, I'll be there. I appreciate the invite. Thank you, my brother. I'll be there.
We'll definitely see you live.
That Lou Waffer, he got jealous. He sent me a disgusting DM.
I mean,
hey, Luafa, you got to play nice, okay? Play nice, Luafa.
Yeah. let's get into these last two, and then we'll shut the show down. Sound good? Everybody that's here, hit that like button if you guys are enjoying yourselves. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Such a great show right now. So we have Days Gone coming out next month.
Yeah,
copping it.
I'm copping it. I don't care.
Is it
I'm
day one for anybody in this chat? Put a 1 in the chat. If it's a day one, put a 2. If it's not, and if it's a 2, tell me why. Let's go ahead and get into that. Days Gone.
Yo, you gonna see multiple ones from me because I have to play it.
Day 0 for me, baby. Day
0. Okay.
I'm getting it. Like I said, I paid mine off sooner, but these black dudes in front of me were, But no, I'm buying. I was not at first because I'm like, oh my god, I'm burnt out on zombie games. But that actually looks interesting, and yeah, I'm buying that just so I can maybe I can kill a 4K zombie now. I got that 4K rat on that Metro. I killed that thing like 10 times.
Okay, so I see a lot of ones in the
chat. Actually, I pre-ordered mine. So
you pre-ordered yours, okay?
So you beat us to the point, to the punch, man.
Okay. I'll be having mine digitally because even though I prefer physical, mine's being sent to me, so I'm not going to purchase it again if I'm being sent it.
I was getting sent to you.
Yeah, I'm getting it's kind of like a review copy, but I'm not reviewing it. I told them I'm not reviewing it, but they're still sending it to me. So I said, all right, send it to me then.
I'll review anything they can send to me. No.
I'm not reviewing any. I don't review, man. I don't
review.
It takes it's a long process reviewing, and you kind of have to keep up to date with the games. You have to buy every game before time, and if you don't have a link to get games early, your review's kind of old. If people have put theirs out 2 weeks before you have.
Yeah, usually when you get the review copy, you're under embargo, so you have at least I think 3 days before the actual release, something like that.
Well, I told them I'm not reviewing it, but they still said have it anyway. So.
Well, you enjoy yourself for sure. Enjoy yourself. Obviously, we have Sekiro, which is doing good. We have Days Gone coming out next month, and we have plenty more games to look forward to. I saw that comment. Pablo's messed up. I'm stupid, but I shout out to Pablo. I'm gonna hit that dislike. Let me go ahead.
Well done.
Let me go ahead.
My bulletproof vest on today.
Yeah.
I got my bulletproof vest on today, so I'll take all the shots. It doesn't matter.
Last topic. Sony being serious about backwards compatibility.
Oh,
we all knew the PS5 is going to be back. Like a lot of us are speculating it's backwards compatible with PS4. By simply having x86 hardware, Sony has confirmed that they're pretty much really focused on backwards compatibility, and they're really pushing that for next gen. So all your games will work with the PS5, no problems. Should be no hiccups. The only hiccup that we will have with PS5 going into it, obviously, will be PS3, because PS3 is a completely different architecture, and there's no way they can make PS5 backwards compatible with PS3 without investing more money into the system, which we already know a lot of you are not really going to take advantage of. Sadly, it's too much.
Well, unfortunately for everybody else, I get to enjoy my P3 titles because I still have my old PS3. Ha 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 ha.
That PS3 is collecting dust and it's in the cellar. Why are you trying me? Stop.
Nah, bro. I was playing my Ridge Racer 7 not too long ago. So stop it, my lad. I was playing my game.
Carlos, I'm with you on that because I don't have dust on my PS3 either. So
nah, man.
Bro, he tried to be slick. Nah.
Yeah, I ain't trying to be slick, man. I still got. You know what's so funny? I got the whole entire SOCOM collection completed, like completely. I got it 1 through 4.
All disc. You got
all disc.
We need to see. We need to see you do that for your video. We need to see like your whole collection, because I know Nancy did it for a video. She did like a series of videos. Why don't you do yours like that?
You know what's funny? I haven't even finished doing all my collections from all the other stuff yet.
You haven't?
Yeah, she got Nancy beat me by a long mile. She got way more games than me.
I stopped doing it because I got tired. I got tired.
Now, what's that show called? That new hit show? It's called Hoarders. Y'all some Discorders. There you go. Y'all hoarders, man. Must be full of them.
No, you know what the problem is? You're jealous because you ain't got it. So.
Yeah, no, you got it. Yeah. Like I said, man, gamer by choice, not by trend.
I don't have the space for that type of stuff. You're right. I would like to have a room similar to my brother Alpha Omega Sin. I wouldn't mind having a setup like that. But
Hey, you can always obtain it.
I'll be one with y'all. I wouldn't mind having that.
Yeah. Well, the only reason Sony's doing the backwards compat is because Microsoft's doing it. That's what everybody in the Xbox community is saying. So it's that's it. I mean, what point is there? You know, Sony got to do the same thing. It's the same thing. They got to do it. So that's the only reason why they're doing it. And just because they filed a patent, they still might not do it. So
you're talking about the backwards compat?
Yeah.
Here's another thing I can categorically confirm. It's happening. Yes, definitely.
I know. I'm just being.
I can only speak for PS4 titles, though. I don't know much about
PS1.
I don't. I mean, there's lots of conjecture going out there that they are going to do that, and I hope they do. But I can't. I'm not going to lie to you and say, "Oh, I've got information on that aspect." I only have information on PS4 titles running, and you'd expect it to. It's the same architecture.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they probably might even port some PS1 titles as well. Same thing. I mean, it really is up to Sony to emphasize on what they want to utilize as far as going back to the library. But the PS3, to me, it's one of the most difficult, once again, because of the architecture and the way the games were developed for that system. But like I said, man, if you guys want to play some old P3 games, eBay is a good, reliable source. Facebook is a good, reliable source in their market.
Yeah, shout out to Mystic. I remember Mystic opened up a box of like 300 PS3 games you got from eBay.
Yeah, man. And not only that.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Foxy.
Oh, just to piggyback on what you said. The PS3's architecture is so alien. I think its silicon comes from Saturn, if you excuse the pun.
Yeah, it's out there, man. Like that. That chipset is very, very hard to develop for.
It is.
It's still more powerful than the PS4, though. I'm talking about the CPU.
Yeah,
that CPU is a joke.
It's 3.2 gigahertz.
Really?
It can do multiple things.
You can do a lot of things
ahead of its time. It can do so many things at once. It's got 7 SPUs.
Yep.
Right? They are processing units separated. Right? The problem with the architecture was you had to program for each one of those 7.
Yeah.
So that's like doing 7
that's
times
why
the
games
work.
took longer for PS3 than any
exactly. Other. But if you mastered it like Naughty Dog did,
Naughty Dog, they went the extra mile. They were like
even the PC for its time.
Yeah. And I remember, didn't he talk about that during the PS4 Pro reveal? Mark Cerny, he said that there was still more potential in that particular architecture, but he said, you know what, we went with x86 because x86 was just simple. Didn't he talk about that? He brought up Cell.
Yeah, I think Sony really would have wanted the Cell to take off because it was revolutionary. It wasn't an evolution; it was revolutionary.
Yeah, definitely. The set. I had one more topic. 1 second, because I know we were going to end it, but there was one more thing I was going to talk about. Where is it? 1 second. Okay, I lost my thought for this one. All right, maybe not. All right, so for Sony right now, what are y'all most excited for going into the PS5? I thought it was a panel question.
Going into the PS5?
Yeah, like going to be like what's the last game you think you'll buy for PS4 going into PS5? There you go.
Good question.
You won't have to, will you? I mean, the games are going to run on the PS5 as a continuation, so you'll still buy PS4 games because they're going to look stunning on PS5.
Yeah. Oh, I found my question, by the way. I lost. I literally dropped the paper like an asshole.
Actually, one thing I'd like them to bring back.
It was a panel question we had from.
So Nancy,
I was going to say one thing. I was going to say if for that, I wish they'd bring back a Soulcom game.
Okay.
Well, I might have some news for you on that front soon.
That was trademarked, or not? Was it trademarked? No, Siphon Filter was trademarked. I'm tripping.
It might have VR integration.
VR integration.
Yeah, not VR based, just VR integration. So don't think, oh, you can only play it in VR. It's like an integration side of it. It might run off the same engine as what's that other game that just came out? It's a first-person shooter VR. Sony. It released like last year. But everyone's
the SWAT. That SWAT.
Yeah. It's using that engine apparently.
Okay.
An evolved version of that engine. But I'll say more on it as time comes. I don't know how much I can say at this point.
Yeah, Soul Reaver would be another good game for them to bring back. What else? Twisted Metal.
Yeah. Not Google, but my Gmail has just sent me this. Now, I don't even know why Ubisoft is even trying to resell this game. This is probably the weakest in the Assassin's Creed series, but Assassin's Creed 3 is going to be 4K on the Xbox One and PS4 Pro, I'm pretty sure. What do you have to say about this game?
Well, the fact it can't be 4K on the Pro because the Xbox community has told me that the Pro cannot do 4K gaming. But as far as the game itself, that's one of my favorite Assassin's Creed games because that Native American was pissed off and he was butchering people. I mean, his kills were extremely
combat. Some of the best combat was in Assassin's Creed 3, but in terms of story, in terms of like the start and whatnot, it was just kind of meh. I
agree. The first part of it was long. I agree with you, but the second and third parts were really good. But I'm with you on that first part. But as far as his the way he was killing people, and they actually opened up some more stuff. Now you can do a lot more with him. But yeah, it's only $40. So yeah, I may go up to my local GameStop while Sony still lets you buy games at GameStop and buy the game.
Shout out to Meds in the chat. What's going on, brother? Glad you could at least make it here somewhat.
You're buzzing, Marley.
Yo, que lo que, Meds.
What was I about to say about that? They actually dissed Connor, the assassin in that game, in the series going further. It was in Assassin's Creed Revelation. No, was it Revelations? It was one of the newer ones where they were talking because it was like in the future side of it, like the present. And they were talking about, they were like reviewing the characters. They were saying how NTO is arrogant. They were talking about how they have potential with the first ever female character that they push from Liberation.
Oh yeah. That wasn't really a hot game though, was it? Can I ask a question real quick before we shut this down?
Sure, go ahead.
I'd like to ask the panel, what do they think the most killer move Sony could do next gen in terms of having a game that already exists that people dearly love, like say the rights to it, say the company who owns it isn't doing nothing with it. What game could be the most killer, shocking move to you that Sony could pull off next gen?
Capcom versus SNK 2 remastered PS5.
Parasite Eve remake.
Bloody Roar. There's another one. Bloody Roar.
Nancy.
Y'all saying that, right? Battle Arena to Shodan.
Oh, he went there.
Or Destruction Derby.
What about Nancy?
Oh, I'm sorry. I just got back. I need a question.
What could be the killer game that Sony could secure? A game that already exists, that's dearly loved, but the company that owns it isn't doing nothing with it. So Sony gets the rights to have it for PS5 exclusively. What could be a killer move that would send the industry into meltdown for you?
All right, give me 1 second to think about that because there could be a couple of them there.
I'm gonna give mine.
Hold on. You guys go ahead. Somebody else talk first. There may be a couple.
I've got mine. I think the killer game that Sony could secure from a company that isn't really doing, to my knowledge, anything with it is Half-Life 3.
Half-Life 3.
Oh, but that means
no, Dead Space.
PC gamers would buy a PS5 to play that if they couldn't get it on their.
Now the thing is, they would have to.
They need to bring that Dead Space and push that. That'll be amazing.
That too, and on top of that, like you would have to literally cough up a lot of bread for that IP.
Not if it's a timed exclusive, like for a year.
That would be a good selling point.
We got Smash Bros. That's Nintendo. Nintendo got that. That ain't going nowhere, bro. Capcom, I don't even think Capcom is even trying to put themselves on the market to be sold. They're actually doing pretty good now with that, with the Resident Evil 2 remake and Devil May Cry.
Matter of fact, I have another one, and it's an oldie but a goodie. It's a Legend of Legaia. But I'm on.
Stop.
I
can feel my veins pumping up. I love that game.
I still got the original for the PS2, the Dual Saga.
I want Dark Cloud. Another.
Damn, you took it back, man.
I'm going to say this. You guys named quite a few good games. I can't think of one right off the top of my head at the moment, but one thing I would like to see them do, because we don't have it, and I think that would be nice for the PS5, is to get a Venom game.
That would be crazy. I mean, we haven't had a proper maximum carnage. Separation anxiety.
Venom. Well, it wasn't really his game.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. Venom, bro. Those are just
Spider-Man. It's like you play the big Venom. You can like absorb people, and on PS2, you know what I'm talking about? That original one.
Yeah. Nah, the Almighty. You ever play Maximum Carnage, bro? Just saying.
Fight Night would be another one. If they could get that from EA.
Fight Night. Yeah, Fight Night's good too. Yeah.
I've been asked for Fight Night. I don't think EA cares though. They're too busy pushing UFC and microtrans to actually care about.
Damn. Hey, they brought up a good one too by JK's Guy Code. Jet Moto. I really would like to play Jet Moto again.
Going back, man, to the early raw polygon days where there was no textures.
Bro, I would love to see a Jet Moto. I've been itching.
Fighter, though. Give me a new Sega. Come on, where's your new Virtual Fighter game? You got to drop a new Virtual Fighter.
Yeah, Virtual Fighter is a must-have as well.
Bring Sonic back to relevancy. Where's Sonic at? There's just not a proper Sonic game out anymore.
To be honest, I've seen so much Sonic, poor ones, good ones, middling, mediocre ones, that if they left Sonic alone for a while, it wouldn't really hurt me.
Damn, Savage, you threw out another one too, man.
During Halloween, they came out that werewolf style Sonic game.
Oh God!
Like, when does it stop? The torture stop.
Motorstorm as well, man. Sony's sitting on Motorstorm like it couldn't be great again.
And Motorstorm was actually freaking awesome, man.
I like the first one a lot. The second one I didn't play. I know
remake the first one with up-to-date graphics.
Yeah,
and a few more extra tracks and new vehicles and stuff. Yeah, because the physics was crazy on that game. That was the cell processor. Really,
very annoying though. That came on your screen every time car turns. That was annoying for the game.
I will say,
I used to play that online from dusk till dawn, man. I turned into a vampire.
Nah, Fernando, you can't say that about Sekiro. If you suck at it, then you must learn the ways of the shadows, my brother.
What would you about to say,
I will say one thing. If they're going to bring a new Street Fighter to PlayStation 5, they better get it right.
You know what would be nice for them to
get it right?
You remember the Street Fighter EX for the PS1?
Oh, bro! I swear on all things that is great. I was just thinking that in my brain when you had that character who you had to charge him up to hit with a baseball bat, and he wore that was amazing. That game, the graphics were cool on the PS1 for the time as well. They were angular, but they still look better than most of the other fighters, and it was quick. Remember how quick
super fast paced.
And there were so many characters. Oh man, I can't believe that we were both thinking about that at the same time, man. I owe you a coffee.
All right. Well, I think that's pretty much it. I think that wraps it up. I want to say thank you to everybody who came out. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Definitely hit that like button if you did. We do appreciate y'all. This is RGT episode 54. Big shout out to everybody who made it. Kid Smooth. Shout out to my brother Meds. Everybody else out here, appreciate y'all. I'm gonna let everybody get their outros out. We're gonna shut it down. I'm gonna start with ladies first. Go ahead, Nancy.
Everybody's sorry I'm late, but I made it. Thank you everybody for coming. Hit that like button on the way out, and you know where to find me. I'm playing my games. I'll see you guys later. Titanfall Princess out.
Alrighty, definitely. The Messiah. Go right ahead, my brother.
Yeah, thanks for having me. And great topics, cool podcast again. Shout out to Meds. Hope he's doing all right. And yeah, just playing the games, and I'm probably stream MLB The Show here shortly. Another great PS4 exclusive into the library.
All right, you soon will be playing that Iron Man VR in the near future.
In the future, yeah, if that comes out here, yeah.
Dread from it, run from it. You will be streaming it. Carlos.
Hey man, as always, great time, great individuals. Please subscribe to each and every one of us. Show some support to us on Twitter. Follow me at Just Me and My Girls 4. And as always, man, gamer by choice, not by trend. Hey Sony, bring me my damn Jet Moto back, damn it.
And of course, the Fox.
Well, look, first of all, allow me to apologize for the difficulties I had getting in here. Google Hangouts treated me like, I was trying to get into the Trump Plaza Hotel on the penthouse floor, but they said I should be working there, not staying there. Anyway, thank you very much for having me. Play games, not corporations. One love to everybody.
Absolutely. I will see you guys Sunday for the Gamer Couch podcast with Foxy and of course Craig Harris here. So definitely tune in Sunday live on Foxy Games UK's channel, the Gamer Couch podcast.
Oh yes, do join us. I don't know why I didn't even mention that. Yes, the Gamer Couch podcast.
Definitely. Thank you guys so much. Team RGT up in the building. Hope you guys enjoyed again. We are definitely signing out. Y'all be blessed. Y'all be easy. At the end of the day, we out of here.
Big shout out to Fatal Mephisto for beating Shadows. Die twice.
There you
Good
go.
gaming, my brother. Good gaming. Rock on.